liberating and life-changing aha moments? Lundagin mo, baby! Here's your chance! Lundagin mo, baby! Kasama ang mga pilosopong sina Jovi Miroy at Ron Capinding. Lundagin mo, baby! Leaping upward, leaping forward. Lundagin mo, baby! Leaping to greater heights, to greater wisdom, to greater magis. Lundag na, Ateneo!
Coming up next, SPARC, Spouses, Parents, Children, on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Katipunan.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay at tenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng buwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugod, todo sa kayon, tulong at tulong. Lipat na Blue Eagle, galing giting nagigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan.
What keeps a family shining? It's that spark, the bond between spouses, the wisdom of parents, and the dreams of children. And guess what? We're turning that spark into a show. Introducing SPARC, Spouses, Parents, and Children. Only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. A program filled with real talk, life hacks, inspiring stories, and yes, even the fun and laughter that keep families strong. So tune in, light up your day, And let's celebrate what makes every family shine. Spark. Spouses, parents, and children. Only on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Your campus, your community, your spark of inspiration.
Good Monday morning, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of SPARC, all about marriage and parenting through the eyes of spouses, parents, and children. This program is brought to you by CBX Network, Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM, the Discovery Weekend, and the Love Institute. Welcome also to all our audience over at Radyo, on the radio, Facebook, and YouTube. And we are broadcasting live over here at JESCOM, building of the Ateneo de Manila University. And I am your host, Coach Aiza Caparas-Tabayoyong, keeping you company every Monday morning. And hopefully the traffic is not that bad today because a lot of classes are on health break. Okay. So sana lahat nagiging healthy kasi nga uso rin ang sakit ngayon. But for today, our episode is entitled Perfect with Your Favorite Brewed Cup. Brewing Together. Blended Family Dynamics. Wow, blended. Shaken, not stirred. Okay, but yeah. So for today, to join us and talking about what blended family is all about is one of my favorite couples. Kasi iba ang klaseng dynamics nila. Right? Let's start off with Miguel, who is a fractional executive for marketing and communications. He's had plenty of experience in corporate, and then later we'll probably help him, ask him to explain what fractional executive means. And for him to join us today and talk about blended family. Hello, Miguel.
Good morning.
And with him, of course, is his better half. Yeah, better half. Sige, away na ako ni Miguel. Right? Equal half. Okay. Chacha, who is also a relationship consultant and a homemaker. And they both took the Discovery Weekend in 2011. That's them together. But it's second for Miguel. We'll know why later. First time ni Miguel in 1997. We're revealing his age a little bit. But that was a requirement of Chacha prior to engagement. And just to continue on, they've been married for the past 13 years. And they have been busy raising a family of 4. Luis, already 27. Rocio, like my daughter, 25. Lucho, 12. Martina, the youngest, is 10. Luis and Rocio are born from Miguel's late wife, Amy, who passed away in 2002 after battling cancer. And as a family, they are guided by the motto, Blended Fortified. Wow. A blended family fortified by the Lord's love and grace. That's all here from Chacha. Please greet our audience.
Good morning.
Yeah, and of course, our Suke and our regular here to add to the insights, founder of the Love Institute and co-author for a lot of books, including Thinking of Marriage, Teen Crush, Growing Up Wired. Please welcome back Coach Maribel Junicio.
Hello, good morning, and hello to my brother Luigi all the way in Sanfo.
Wow, shout out
Nakikinig
Luigi.
siya lagi.
Hello. Yan. Okay, bago tayo magsimula, Miguel, a little explanation. What does fractional executive mean?
How long do you have? No,
Half a minute.
basically, it is full-time at part-time. You have a full-time role at part-time fees because a lot of people who were raised and who grew up in the corporate, the big 10 companies, now are going to help SMEs, which is the basis of our economy. So if they can't afford, then you pay fractional and then you work for 3 or 4 companies.
Oh, that's great. They need support, and that's also the big bulk, of what our economy is moving our economy. So wonderful. Okay, so let's get started with blended family. Siguro, a basic information on what blended family means. So what does that look like? Baka kasi marami tayong audience na are in the blended family, hindi nila alam na yun ang tawag doon sa kanilang sitwasyon. Maribel, maybe you would like to describe what is exactly is a blended family?
Well, the blended family, like in their case, is the coming together of Miguel, who has children from his previous marriage. So it will blend now, initially with Chacha. Well, she didn't have children from a previous relationship, but between the two of them, they have 2 children. So 4 already
Yes,
now,
okay.
blending.
Right. And
Mag-a-add ako doon.
Yes, description
So,
of blended.
Basically, when 2 people decide to be together, bringing in children, no, from the previous relationship. So ano yung mga combinations niyan? Either yung babae may anak and then yung lalaki may anak and then they get married.
Together.
Or existing kids and then there are new children from the new relationship. This can also be the case for may existing children kayo and then you bring in adopted children. Yun, lahat yun blending ang nangyayari.
Okay. So yun. So more or less, you know now what blended family, how that's defined. And baka kayo yun. Or you know someone. Or you're related to someone who's in the blended family. So let's get started on the dynamics. Ano nga ba ang challenge or a blessing of being in a blended family? So let me ask the first question. What's the biggest surprise for Chacha about joining Miguel's family or with the kids existing, both the good side and the challenging side, and that you didn't or you got to anticipate when you first started dating? Kasi nag-date kayo, alam mong widower siya, right? Oh, so
Yeah.
what was surprising pa that you weren't able to anticipate?
Sige. Well, just a little context Nung nagde-date pa lang kami kasi hindi naman ako bata na. Okay?
Okay.
So, nung nagde-date kami. So, very intentional talaga. I was like, this is my life, no? So, I really have to know what I'm getting myself into. Kaya, kilala ko na yung mga bata because I really asked for it. That's part of our dating, na hindi lang tayo nagde-date. Kailangan, alam ko yung buhay mo. And I see your kids. And then you see my life. Okay? So, therefore, nabawasan yung mga surprises. But, despite the familiarity, I think what really surprised me when I joined the family as a permanent person na in the home is that they're really different from my own family, no? They're more private, no? Miguel and the children. Compared to my own family na maingay, we talk a lot about many different things. Walang filter. So they're very private, no?
Heavy filtered.
Oo. And although it didn't really naman come as a challenge, so, but naninibago lang talaga ako lang. The good thing though, is that surprisingly, Miguel was a good homemaker. Kasi the home was in order. And he had support, for him and for the kids. Like meron siyang may manang, my driver, and the kids were really living a very normal life despite, him being a single parent. So, that impressed me actually, that he could do it on his own.
Wow. Good surprise for sa haba ng hair ni Miguel. Right? Okay. So, on Miguel's part naman, what was it like? So, you're dating Chacha, getting to know Chacha, but you're also, in a way, the kids are dating Chacha, also getting to know each other. The kids, her. What was it like introducing Chacha to the kids, especially the first time and the succeeding?
I think what set it up first is that when my first wife it was clear that she was gonna go with a conversation. And then her parang marching orders is you have to marry again and you have to look for a mother for my children too. So that, in a way, gave me guidance. And in a way, eventually, I put it into prayer of who I'm gonna look for. Cannot marry a princess because there's already a castle and a set of rules. So, and then somebody na meron ng alam sa buhay at challenge sa buhay at alam na hindi enchanted kingdom to. Those were part of the 3 prayers we had. Somebody who can laugh with me, and then somebody who can help me with faith. So that's what guided me in all of this.
When they got to meet, what was that like?
When they got to meet, parang there was already a previous relationship that they got to meet. So medyo sanay na sila that Papa can be dating somebody and Papa can introduce
Okay.
somebody. And then pag serious, then we go out, we have dates together. So parang sanay na. Although they were older na.
You asked permission ba? You informed them ahead of time?
I don't
before
think
you
it's
met,
as
Cha?
permission. I
Okay,
just said,
that's-
hey, I'm gonna bring somebody, somebody special.
Okay.
And then parang they kinda understood that na.
Did they hear the marching order of their mom to you? Or was that you're the only audience then?
Oh, we never discussed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never discussed it. So I think to them, might have been a surprise actually. So I don't know. But, yun.
Yeah, tanungin natin sila mamayang gabi. Mag-date na kayo. It's a good topic, right? To converse about. Okay. So that's interesting to know and thank you. But in terms of establishing, kasi meron ng old traditions from the old setup
The first
of the
family.
castle, of the existing castle, so to speak. That makes you a king. Okay. Your Majesty. And your old traditions and honor everyone's past, including yours, right? How did you work to establish, creating a unique one, a new one, forming new one with this new blended unit?
Okay. Proseso yan. No? Mahabang proseso. So, speaking for myself, kasi ako yung bagong salta sa castle. Diba? And really, very different the system, very different the culture. So, as a stepmom, I had to really step on my own personal brakes and delayed, the things that I wanted really for myself, like, the way the house should look, etc., etc. Had to focus on getting to know the kids, and then give them opportunity to also get to know me. And the only way I found that to be possible was by leaving work, as in, kasi teenagers na sila nun eh. Luis was 13 and Rocio was 12.
Oh, wow.
So imagine mo, hindi talaga nila ako priority. Priority nila friends nila. But we had to have a relationship. So I stopped work and then tambay lang ako talaga sa bahay to get to know them, their life. Didn't touch anything in the house. Okay? Respected the system that's there. Built relationships with the yaya, and then got to know
Kasama
them.
pa pala yung yaya na
Kasama
In
yun,
fairness, ang tagal na.
So mahabang proseso. But that, while it's slow, the process helped me identify windows of opportunities. Kailan kami pwedeng mag-usap ng mga bata or just tanungin sila, uy, gutom ba kayo? Kakarating nyo lang from school. I think that started the relationship based on needs lang. Kailangan namin ng pera, di ba? So
And syempre, the boys at 13 is all about food, feed
exactly.
me. Yes.
Pagkain tsaka allowance.
Allowance,
Diba?
okay.
Gimmick. Ayan. So, doon nag-start. And as we developed that relationship, that relationship, naliliwanagan ako. Ano yung sistema that we need to develop, what need to be tweaked. But that really meant a lot of communication and sitting down with them.
And how long did that take na parang
Yeah.
get a idea, di ba, about the culture?
Matagal. Parang every year may bago.
Oo.
No? And I would say, I think the 5 years, nung 5 years lang ako nakagalaw ng bahay. 5 years.
Yes, takes time.
Where they're involved. Kasi sabi natin, baka it's time to renovate the
Yeah,
house.
okay.
So, involved na lahat. But 5 years.
So what I heard is there's respect first for the existing physical space, which to me is also reflective on your respecting to their emotional space. So hindi muna, and then you see which areas you can slowly get into and rearrange or make your personality in also. Okay, that's wonderful. Miguel's eyebrow was meeting together while Chacha was talking. What are your thoughts with what she said?
I think Sorry, I lost the question actually, but the way I understand the question, please.
Is the tradition or the past traditions, how was that reformed? Slowly blended into a unique one from the old one with your previous wife and now with the new one that you're forming with Chacha and the new kids?
I think it came also in phases, but the first phase was an openness to the coming of somebody new. So what guided me, and I don't know if I also told my kids, maybe I did tell my kids about it, but as a solo parent, I am judge, jury, and executioner.
Judge, jury, and executioner. Okay, what does that mean? Please elaborate.
As a king, kung magalit ako, pagalitan kita, yun na yun. Martial law is in effect.
Autocratic.
Okay.
Autocratic.
Ako ang boss.
Clearly. And then when Chacha was coming in, now you have a court of appeals.
Ang mami, court of appeal.
That's nice.
But as we went through, hindi pala pwedeng ganon. Because that would have established two systems.
Yeah.
So slowly, I had to learn that there was impeachment powers pala. No, I'm kidding about that.
Veto
But
powers,
there was to be one system
Yeah.
para consistent with all. So an openness and then a learning and a listening to get it to transition to where it is now that is still developing, I think, because nagta-transition naman yung mga stages ng mga bata.
Okay, correct. So you stopped being a judge, jury, and executioner, and you allowed some form of democracy already.
Yes, and I had to relearn.
Because your other Court of Appeals justice is already vetoing. Oh, you're open. So ang key there talaga is openness to relearn. Kasi marami ng existing system na kung hindi ka flexible, can cause conflicts.
I think also what helped me is that when I was alone, it was also hard not to have somebody to talk to.
Yeah. Hindi ka
about
rin
these
nag-enjoy
things.
in your
Hindi rin.
monopoly of power.
Tapos-
Tama ba yun?
Tapos when she would bring in things na based on a lot of learnings, parang okay. It's not just experience.
Yes.
And it's not just my family of origin. Now I have to listen and learn and be open.
Yeah. So, speaking of disciplining, speaking of your way with the kids, tanong ko na ngayon kay Chacha, how was the experience sharing that authority, or did you have any with the two kids, especially in terms of disciplining the two teenagers? I mean,
Yeah,
can imagine how challenging that is.
Ayan, pag teenagers, hindi na pwede, di ba, yung totoong, hindi matotoo, but the disciplina, like you really impose. Especially because I was a newcomer, no? Sino ka ba, di ba? I knew that was not my role. So if there's any disciplining that needed to be done, si Miguel muna ang kausap ko. So, ang proseso ko ganito. So, sa bahay ako, tatambay ako. So, nalalaman ko yung buhay nila. Pagdating ni Miguel from work, kay kwento na ako sa kanya, nagre-report ako.
Reporter.
Nagre-report. Oo, ito nangyari. Oy, kailangan ng ganito, guidance ng ganito. Okay. But that's how I also saw how different we were. Because in my mind, sanay ako na mag-uusap. Okay? Siya, pag nireport ko, I guess he was also stressed from work. Pagdating, oh my gosh, talagang ito pa talaga yung bubunga sa akin, yung mga nangyari sa bahay,
Another
diba?
job at home.
So, tawagin niya, Luis, balita ko ganito. Akin na yung mga video games mo. Okay, you're grounded for a month. So, ako naman yung nagugulat. Sabi ko, that's not my intent.
Tapos sinabi pa niya, balita ko. Sino ba kaya yung nagbabalita? Naku, may chuchu.
I know. So, to be brutally honest, we fought a lot. Not as husband and wife, but as
Parents.
Co-parents.
Yeah. As in, like, parang hindi yata pwedeng ganyan. Okay. That took a while. That's a lot of, I think, alignment. Hindi nga before alignment, talagang humbling. We had to learn how to to speak to each other without really raising our voices, because I would really yell at him and like lecture him for 1 hour. Ganun ako magalit. So
Justice, Chacha.
So while we were learning how to co-parent, we also had to learn to be a husband and wife. And then I realized, wait lang. If the kids would see me not caring for the father, wala na akong chance
Respect,
at
yes.
developing a relationship with them.
Yes.
My motto was love begets love. I would focus on getting to know the kids and learning how to love them, diba? And hopefully in the future, natutunan din nila akong mahalin. But how can I achieve that if hindi kami maayos? They will see the dad na, pinapagalitan ko and all. So, that had to go together. The learning how to be husband and wife, and then learning how to co-parent. But yeah, it's a lot of
Parang that's easier said than done. I know, I'm putting myself in your shoes, Cha. Parang it's easier said than done na to take a pause. Kasi parang nakikita mo na mali eh. May mali. For you to take a pause and say, wait, at the end of the day, I love this guy. I may be annoyed. Nakakainis siya ngayon, but I love this guy. So parang that takes a lot of humility also and ego aside, pride aside. How do you do that?
Iyak ko na lang. Tapos sabi sa kanya, parang nahirap naman ito. But, yeah, it's really hard. And so,
what made you go there?
Number one, klaro ako, okay, before I entered this relationship, yun, kaya kailangan hindi basta-basta papasok sa isang relasyon.
Yes po.
Diba? Mag-prepare kayo. I was self-aware talaga, even before. That's why nga the discovery weekends, like, requirement ko yun. Bago ka mag-act sa akin, no?
Ilang years na kayo nagde-date no? Nag-DW kayo?
Months.
Okay.
April to November.
Bilis?
Yeah.
Bilis pa.
Wala, parang hindi na mag-aksaya ng oras,
Kasi
diba? Yeah.
Matanda na siya eh.
Matanda na siya. Siya lang nakaturo.
Yeah, there are kids involved. It's different, we can't naman we can't take so much risks,
Yeah.
We really need to know. And especially me, I had choices. May iba namang lalaki dyan na wala namang anak. Really? I had a
FYI,
choice.
Miguel, she had
I had a
choices.
choice.
But she chose you in the end.
Lalong humaba yung hair ni Miguel. Among the choices, I choose you.
So kaya kailangan aware ako. I knew that it would take a lot of commitment. Kailangan yung mindset ko klaro. Kasi yung mindset ko noong una, iba ha. Parang, I want to be liked by the kids. And then later on, hindi pa kami married nito ha, dating pa lang. And then later on, you're like, shucks, that's selfish. Imagine if I wouldn't feel that the kids,
Love me.
like me or they don't make me pansin. Ano nangyayari sa akin? That's a motivation. So that's why it changed. Ako hindi. My goal is to learn to love them, have a relationship with them, and then I know naman if that happens, they would eventually like me too. So that helped me. Very focused. I had a support system. I'd have friends to talk to. Adoration Chapel was my go-to. Iiyak na lang ako doon. And our conversation, every day, we would really talk. And alignment every week.
Weekly, intentional na alignment.
Kami. Functional.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that, did you ever realize na all your job in fixing companies, in ODs, and understanding communication of companies will have to be applied now to your family? No, how was it letting go of the reins, knowing that how a co-parent, kasi sabi mo nga, you're judge, jury, executioner. How was it like adjusting to letting Chacha in the authority?
It was like, what they call this, redoing the Constitution. Kasi the assumed order
Was
of
that
things...
easy or hard for you? I don't know. Baka kasi
It comes in stages.
Uh-huh.
The assumed system that I thought would be,
Okay with her.
tsaka I thought okay na yon na Court of Appeals type. Tapos yung pala, hindi. So it had to adjust. And then I guess for me, I'm very fragmented or very focused one at a time. So your question nga, at work, you had to fix things and all.
Yeah.
But at home, when I get home, I didn't want to fix things naman.
Anymore. I want to relax.
I want to relax.
Fix her hat out the window. Oh.
Tsaka parang, wait a minute, Lord, tagal ko ng solo parent. Ngayon may kakampi na ako. Siya naman.
Siya na lang.
Siya na lang for a time. And then, only to realize, very recently also na, wait, hindi pala pwede yun. I'm also a parent nga pala. So, it's co-parenting. But I had to learn that in stages while my adjustment also to career, to married life, to having 4 kids, they all had to do that. So, the alignment, whether it's weekly or our bigger alignments with the family would teach me, oh, okay. So, parang I really had to go back and realize a lot of the learnings that Cha was bringing in also, that was helpful. And understanding my past and the past of my different family members.
What kept you there? Yun ang tanong ko. Despite, I'm sure, medyo shaking yun, no? Speaking of a lot of shaking sa atin lately, it was shaking what your already existing system. What kept you going despite the difficulty?
I think one prayer, settling down, but also reflecting and remember where I came from. Solo parent, making decisions yourself, being unsure of the way to go. You can't study both.
Which was more difficult for you?
Which was very difficult. And then realizing na, oh, the world has evolved. And Cha was bringing a lot of that. You have to listen to your kids pala. For me, I wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
Parang if I raise my voice, that's the law.
Maybe kasi gano'n ka rin pinalaki eh.
Parang.
Parents, the law, period.
And that's what I thought would make it happen. Not realizing nga na ibang-iba yung mundo, iba yung reactions. And then parang I had to really stop and listen and realize and project to the future what it would be.
So the pause talaga is very important. Hanging on to your faith. And also maybe you're realizing you're committed to this one. You took a vow.
It's a
for
blending
reason.
talaga of,
Yes.
the family of Miguel as married. Meron pa yung family of origin yan that
Yeah.
tick in there also. Then Chacha's family of origin influence. So, hindi na pag-usapan really in the beginning, but it was along the way. It's a good thing both of them are mature. They keep talking.
Yes.
So that they can blend properly, precisely.
So Coach Maribel, is that the key? I mean, you saw what works for them and what are the other tips, especially sa authority ng kids?
Well, it's a good thing they have that emotional maturity and that awareness of
Tanda na kasi sila pareho.
ay hindi lahat ng matatanda.
Relax lang.
Hindi lahat yung matatanda ganyan ha, mature. Pero yung sinabi ni Cha, that the perspective, very important yun na parang I will just observe and watch first. Don't go in and change the system. But you can change it together with Miguel's authority, because you don't have it yet, di ba? So that's why we encourage usually couples, if they're getting into a relationship with children, mag-usap about not only the marriage, simultaneous yun about parenting, to attend the parenting seminar so that they can be in the same framework with the adult, so that the children don't get confused. And sila rin, reduce the conflicts as well.
Yes. I know you have something to add, pero I would just remind everyone, time check, we are 10 o'clock already. Parang kakasimula na bigla 10 o'clock na. Bigla ako nagpanic. And so for all our listeners, actually it's 10:01 already, umandar na po siya. And for all our listeners, viewers on Facebook and YouTube, feel free to give us comments, questions that you'd like to ask any of our panelists or our guests this morning. And we will try to read them and ask them out loud. So, Cha, you have something to add to Maribel?
Naalala ko lang, importante pala din to have a vision. So, yun yung isa naming alignment. Diba? Saan pa tayo pupunta? Ano bang itsura ng family that we want to build? Because my 2 other kids, also the smaller ones. So, that started with us. And we also invited the big kids in a family planning so that we can talk about it and how that would how that would look, di ba, in the family. Second also, for yan, yung mga the step parent, di ba? I had to also define for myself, ano ba yung role ko? Kasi ito yung mga questions nung bago ako, would I be a mom? Or would I be a tita? Or would I be a friend? Diba?
Anong definition pa yon? Iba-iba.
Oo, iba-iba.
Iba kasi yun
You
eh.
can be called a mom, but
A
you
little
know,
combination.
Yes.
Combination.
Yes.
But yun nga, if you get stuck with one, like if feel ko ako yung nanay, iba talaga. I think the way I would behave, the way I would relate with them would be different. But there would be times I'd have to be a mom, minsan tita ako, minsan friend. Yun.
And ako, so very valuable. I just want to highlight, for the sake of everyone, what Maribel said also earlier, yung blended, hindi lang po nanggagaling yan sa previously married or meron ng anak. Nagbablend kasi kasama yung family of origin, yung pinanggalingan natin. Biniblend nyo po yan even to those first-time marriages. Second, in creating vision, yung sinasabi ni Chacha, parang tayo anong workshop yan, yung mga
family vision,
o sa
couple
corporate,
vision,
vision forming workshop, 'di ba? And planning, 'di ba? Strategic planning workshop sa mga corporate. Meron din po 'yan sa pamilya. And the clearer you are kung saan nyo gustong pumunta, kung saan nyo dadalhin yung pamilya nyo, kahit dalawa pa lang kayo, importante po yan. Pero ito, hindi lang sila nagsisimula, dalawa lang. Meron na kagad plus 2 kids. And again, they're relatives or families of origin. Curious na ako, did you ever consult Luis and Rocio on what do you need from me? Kasi ikaw nagde-decide, ano nga ba ako? Friend, tita, mommy, or what, di ba? Nagkaroon ba sila ng say or feedback or feed forward sa'yo? Anong kailangan nyo?
Matanong kasi ako. I think that... So, diba, pag manghihingi ng baon, may kasama na yung tanong, what else do you need? Diba? So, that made it clear for me nga what they needed. Now, in terms of the relationship, yun, medyo nangapa talaga. Kasi, hindi naman sila very vocal, no? And also, in giving feedback, like,
kasi nga, ano yung filter.
Right. And I even had one experience. I think Rocio was 16, no? Tama, Rocio. Correct mo ako mamaya. 16 years old when she asked me to have she invited me to have a conversation. So, ang sabi niya, I'm confused. Sabi ko, saan? Ganyan. I call you Mommy Cha, and that's their choice. No, I didn't tell them how to know what to call me. So, instant yun when we got married, parang Mommy Cha na agad. But sabi niya, you're not my mommy, so I'm not comfortable calling you Mommy Cha. Pero hindi rin pwedeng tita kasi you're more than just a tita. So, I don't know. Okay. So, I remember, how did I respond to her? Again, my focus was on my relationship with her. Okay? If pleasing her, iba yung sagot ko. No? But because I really wanna, be like someone that she can trust, I said, it doesn't matter to me. Whether it's Mommy Cha or Tita Cha or just call me Cha. You'll experience the same
Love,
the same friendship from me. And basta nagkakaintindihan tayo doon. I remember saying,
Anong
how
sabi
did you
niya?
feel? No? Tinanong ka niya.
Grabe, internally, umiiyak. Alam mo yon kasi at that point, I've learned to love her. Anak ko na siya eh. But to respect also that I'm sure Luis and Rocio were having their own journey. That's different from mine. And I didn't know exactly how it was. Umiiyak ka na ba? So,
Uunahan na kita.
so, I think after umiyak na lang ako kay Miguel. Because, there's pain to hear that. Even if I said my objective was to learn to love them first, I know deep in my heart, diba, parang kating-kating na ako na sana mahalin din nila ako. Sana. And there was a point in time na, ganun talaga yung prayer ko, Lord, sana they would smile at me. So every smile that I'd receive from them, kilig na kilig ako. I was happy, I was grateful for that alone.
Yeah. What was the response of Rocio? I'm curious
Alam mo,
at
I
that
don't
point.
remember anymore. Maybe I should ask her.
Remind
Yeah.
her.
I knew that conversation started with some discomfort. I think she also didn't know how to ask it, know how to bring it
Or
up.
maybe she was also still confused which one.
And she
So
was 16 years old,
but
imagine.
it's your interaction naman that's important, di ba? If there was still that friendliness, that warmth, even the titles are.
Yeah, but I think that resolved
Yeah.
a lot of things for us. But the closeness of our relationship came about, I think, nung pandemic na. Nung pandemic na. Kasi lagi din silang wala eh. Nung pandemic.
Dami talagang blessing in disguise ng
pandemic.
pandemic, no? You're forced to be close,
Yeah.
whether
Well,
you thrive or you
Which
don't.
shows there's foundation also. Kasi
Yes.
if pandemic comes and your relationship is not good to begin with,
Yes.
it's difficult.
Yes.
So it was you prepared the road for that better relationship.
Ako naman, I also felt a certain joy that Rocio was brave enough, had the courage.
To
Kasi it
ask,
takes
yeah.
a lot of courage to ask that from you, to be open like that to you. So I know it was painful on one sense, but it also was a win on how safe she was with you. Kaya ako naiiyak. Hindi ako naiiyak, may sipon ako kahapon pa. Anyway, so then the new kids came in. What was that like? And the role of that with the two older kids. Can you describe? Ano na?
I think it
became a
was
father again.
an eye-opener on parenting styles because there were for me new terms like what do you call this, child-led or democracy, or basta you have to listen.
Child-led, di ba? Bago yun doon sa mga ibang parents. Ngayon, it's always been the parents. Ano, sinabi ng nanay, sinabi ng tatay is law, tapos ang usapan. May
In fact,
child-led.
there was one Sunday na on Sundays we eat out as a family. I always choose. And then one of my kids, don't remember who, said, "Why is it always you who chooses?" And then for me, I was so shocked. Because I pay?
Is this the older two kids or the younger one?
I don't remember.
The younger
Baka the younger
one.
one.
Baka younger one.
Baka
And
the
then
younger ones.
they introduced that a family can be a democracy. Like, what? And then now it has evolved. So each one has a turn.
Yeah.
We just set a budget per
yeah.
person para matuto din. But it was very new to me to learn all of these things because ibang-iba. And parang looking at how generations turned out, and also at work, learning what the Gen Z is, how they act, and all of that, and how. So I was able to understand it a little bit better. And again, listening and being open, not just to Cha, but even to the kids. Parang may effect pala yun. There was one incident when I was really, really stressed.
Listening may effect pala yun.
Meron pala. When I was really stressed at work and my son would sleep here, parang I was transferring so much stress to him pala.
The baby, the smaller
He was
one, the
a 2-year-old
toddler.
and he would parang what's happening to him? So I guess I was transferring. So for me
Yes.
that was, whoa, that's the effect pala. So it was bit of a shock and parang it was also, okay, gotta change things.
Buti hindi, oo nga, at least meron kang sense of, wait, okay, what, pause. Again, yung pause, the power of the pause. Imbis na magpanik agad kasi sanay ka sa old ways and that can be difficult to adjust to. Pero ikaw yung pause, okay, what can I do to adjust? Which I give credit to you.
It sounds very methodical, but I think it was a lot of discussion also and a lot of denial. Ako pa rin may kasalanan nun. But after a while, o nga, no, meron. And then if I do the parallel of what I was going through, and he really was sleeping here,
Okay.
it parang, oh, okay. The evidence is there.
Okay.
So,
So, hindi lang word ni Chacha, may ebidensya na. Okay, may resibo. Cha, what got you to make him listen? Are you always kasi when I talk to you, parang kalmado ka naman. I think that will help with Miguel. Pero hindi ko alam kung kayong dalawa lang,
Hindi.
ganyan.
Nung nagsisimula kami, hindi ako kalmado. Sisigawan ko talaga siya. Parang kung ayaw mo diba? Parang hello, ang dami dami kong choices. Ikaw yung pinili ko. Ano? Ginusto mo ito, trabahuin mo.
Guilt trip always.
No. But, going back to, having two sets of kids, challenging yun. Kasi, una, the parenting approach would be different for the big kids and the small kids, okay? Daming happening at the same time. Pangalawa, reflection ko to 10 taon tong walang asawa. Imagine mo the needs also of my husband. Wanting me there. Tapos may dalawang maliit na bata and then may malaki. So I had to also think about his needs. And then yung age namin, hindi naman kami young. So I think when I gave birth to the youngest, I was already 39. So he was 46. Iba yung stage of life niya. Pagod na yan. Diba? From work and all. So all those were happening at the same time. Okay. What helped? No, what did we do? Part of the setting up of the system is that making sure that each family member, old or young, would have a space of his or her own. Yon, kasama yun kailangan klaro. Diyan ka, pag kailangan mo ng safe space, ito sa'yo. And next, yung allocation of time. Kasi, lalo
That's
na
good.
the big
Yeah.
kids wanted him. Divided na siya, nandito na ako. Nandito pa yung maliliit na bata.
Yeah.
Kukulitin ko pa siya, kumising ka sa gabi kasi yung umiiyak yung isa, di ba?
Scheduling talaga, no, was
Scheduling.
very important.
Even the allocation of management of our resources, financial resources, ang gastos na, apat na yung mga bata. Lahat yan, kailangan naming harapin at pag-usapan what would be best, given what we have. Of course, we were also very aware of our reality. So, hindi namin pwedeng pagpilitan, kung ano yung hindi pwedeng pagpilitan. And we knew that this is a season, it will be better tomorrow if we didn't have enough time with each other now. Diba na? After 6 months, baka pwede na tayo. And we learned how to be creative also in our dates. Habang tulog yung bata, tatakbo kami sa baba, doon muna kami, cheers, and then, umiiyak na. If there's a will, there's really a way.
I was about to ask that. How did you manage your couple time? Kasi starting couple, and then after a year, you became a mom, pero even as a starting wife, you're already a mommy figure, so to speak. What was it like balancing all of those? Iniisip ko ulit ngayon. Newlywed, mom of 2 teenagers, and then became a mom of a baby, and then another one after a few years.
How soon after?
And then still
Martina ka or si Lucho?
Ay, honeymoon namin, nabuntis ako.
Honeymoon.
So
Bilis,
talagang
no?
abilis.
13 years married, 12 years old na siya.
Oo nga pala.
Intentional. Yan yung the key. No other way. We really had to make things happen. So, talagang calling out time. Kami dalawa. Everything started with the 2 of us. What else did we do? Okay, we also respected each other's space. Alam yun, hindi pwedeng all the time it's about us. Because he has his own set of friends. He has his football, which is very sacred to him. I have my own social life, which I had to set aside for some time. But that kind of respect. Na, okay, I know this is something that we have to do together, but that doesn't mean that we are forgetting the person, the individuals. So, bigayan talaga.
I think also certain routines that we kept up. So when we were dating, I would give her options. We'll go one of the 3 choices I'll give. And then it would be sort of an adventure also of surprise.
Wow.
So we kept that as much as possible, but we had to adjust to the time. So recently, maybe a year ago, our dates became breakfast dates. Kasi that's the only time where tulog pa mga bata, we can go out. Tas mas mura ang breakfast. So we could go on dates
Mahirap
and then
lang
have
mag-wine
coffee.
over breakfast.
Wala nang wine sa breakfast.
Or liquor. Maribel, how important is it in especially a family with a blended family dynamics na halo-halo kagad right off the bat to still remember the couple time?
Yeah. I mean, just listening to them, I said, oh my gosh, buti na lang again. They talk, they adjust,
Yeah.
they negotiate, they have the skills of manage this one. Even if, di ba, yung newlywed, tapos nabuntis pa kaagad, my gosh, stress yan that will hit the rooftop already.
Di ba may stress points?
Oh, may stress points yan.
Ano nga yung stress
Ray Hay
points?
and Holmes would say, when you get married, that's 50 points. If you get pregnant, that's 40 points na. So 90 na. You should stay within 150 lang para hindi stressful. The arrival of the baby pa is almost like 40 points also.
Parenting teenagers,
Yun
100
na nga,
points.
the change. Kaya nga, mukhang,
Age.
mukhang 300 points sila yung first year nila. Na ano, but I guess their composure or and they met in a community, I remember that. So I think their background also helps in terms of being grounded, and the information they were continually getting about relationship and family. Yun, that mindset of chat na talagang simultaneous yun, really helps kasi hindi ka magiging prinsesa nga. A different kind of princess
Yeah.
will come about, but you have to do the work first for them to really feel this one. So again, it's really emotional maturity that really works. It looks like their values were really more in sync.
Yeah.
And their love was not really, sabi natin, 3 years boyfriend, girlfriend nagmamadali sila. But buti na lang, because of their exposure and their maturity, it carried them on to be able to function and really be a happy couple, blended, happy family.
So, isi-stress ko lang ulit yung sinabi ni Coach na Maribel. Emotional maturity po, wag mong padaliin ang pagpapakasal. Whatever dynamics, bago, first time, or meron ng kakasamahin na pre-existing family, children, or child in a marriage, communication is key. So, emotional maturity, awareness, communication, and foundation on faith. Kasi you met in a community.
Singles,
Would you like to talk about
Hindi kami
that?
nag-meet.
Ah.
So ako yung active sa Singles for Christ.
Ah, okay.
Tapos,
Siya hindi. Naghahanap siya ng... Ang focus lang niya magkaroon ng bagong girlfriend.
yun ang
Tsaka
kanyang target
magtuturo
rich
sa kanya
environment
daw to,
niya.
a relationship with Christ.
Yes. Well,
So,
at least one of you is in a
pero
community.
tama yun.
I'm sure
Target
meron.
rich environment ang singles group. Tama yun.
Yeah. Kami ni husband, shout out to my niha, Randall. Hi, I know you're watching. Nag-meet kami na community. So, matchmaker namin talaga. Alam mo talaga si Lord kasi ayoko na mag-asawa
Sabagay.
nun eh.
Kami rin, community din.
Diba, community?
Can I just add on the emotional maturity? So one of the prayers was somebody na hindi prinsesa.
Yeah.
Because she would have gone through a crisis and got out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I remember also the mga crisis that I had naman that hopefully got me more mature. But in that test, I remember in my first marriage, when we had cancer, then we were pregnant, and we were gonna leave for another
abroad,
country.
yeah.
I think you gave us a score of 450. Parang masyadong maraming stresses yan. But we went through it, and
The
I think
stress
we got
level.
mature.
Yeah, oo.
Yeah.
Talaga, hindi may iwasan po ang stress sa marriage talaga. So, kailangan meron kang matatag na muscles. And the crisis gives us more muscles. Kung meron kang foundation na hindi ka tatakbo. You marry someone who's not an avoidant. You marry someone who will stay.
And if you're aware of what stressors will come your way,
Yes.
you prepare for it. Kasi
Yes.
there's things that you cannot remove or delay.
Yes.
So that's all right. Basta, sige, let's hold hands and handle this.
Oo. And buti na lang, Miguel has a consultant hat.
Yeah.
Teka, may solution to.
Oo.
Si Chacha has a curious hat and coaching hat. Teka, let's be intentional about this. Pag-usapan natin to. Good communication. Okay. So, again, nung dumating yung mga kids, how did you make sure na no one gets to be to feel like an outsider, or the first batch will say, kami yung boss dito, o kaya yung dalawang bunso ay, kami ang favored or whatever. Paano naiiwasan yun?
Well, aside from, yun nga, making sure di ba, lahat sila may space, lahat sila merong time, ganyan. We also made sure that yung family time namin intact. And what worked for us were the family meal times. Yun, talagang we started that very early. Kasi nung kaya nang mag-high chair nung dalawang maliit, kasama na sila sa lahat ng, lalo na dinner. Kasi, alam ko yung iba nung bata sila, di ba? Yung mga babies pa.
Iniiwan.
Maaga mong pinapakain,
Pinapakain.
tapos tulog na. Pero nung kaya-kaya na nila, hindi, sorry. Pero pinag-adjust namin yung maliliit na bata so that we would be having dinner time together. Kasi buong family nung kami. And that we still do up to this day. So that became an opportunity for also the sibs, the four, to know each other, to have a relationship with each other.
Right.
And then movie time, yan, kain time, yan yung mga na-enjoy ng lahat. So, kami, yun, we had to make sure, although ngayon lesson na kasi lumalaki na sila, but yes, we had those regular times together. And then the key pa would be to really involve the big kids in the planning of these things. Especially pag magbabiyahe kami, magbabakasyon kami, the trips, the big kids are really involved.
So they like it. Kasi parang hindi nyo yung masyadong practice beforehand. Now that they're being consulted and not just told what to do, I guess that makes them, how does that make them feel? May feedback
Siguro
ba
sabi
kayo?
nila, Miguel, buti na ito, Tita checking
Oo
in.
nga.
We're now
Salamat,
consulted.
Daddy.
Before we Daddy only.
I think
Daddy decides.
aside from the consultancy of what we do, we would give them duties in trips. The trips build so much relationship and character. Even with me and my daughter, because when we went to a country with lots of trains,
Rocío.
I assigned Rocio to do that. We would fight, and she would get so stressed. And I didn't realize na ganun pala yung dynamics. But the basic mistake was I didn't buy the cards. Akala ko kasi mas mahal. So every time we go to the station, coins, nakaka-stress. But her involvement, I think, taught her and then taught us, all different members of the family, to also watch that task and to take on that task together and help her out.
Yeah. We gave them opportunities to be an ate and kuya to the kids. So like kung mag-date kami, yan, madalas namin yon. Mag-date kami ni Papa. So kailangan, pwede bang samahan yung mga bata hanggang makatulog? Ayun, and I guess because meron ng relationship din nga between us, mo naman sila, basta wala silang lakad.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I was just wondering kung meron ding open feedback communication from the first two, lalo na nung nabuntis ka or nung nag-asawa ka ulit, meron ba silang nasabi na how they felt about it? They were good, nervous, sad, or upset?
I don't think we structured it that way, but marketing ako so I try to make the new event good for them. So for example, hey, you're about to have a sibling, why don't you name them? Or we basically said, or hindi ko alam kung tayo gumawa or sila, but Lucho is a combination of Luis and Rocio.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Martina is a combination, her name is Maria Martina. Rocio is Rocio Maria.
Second names of the big
Second
kids.
names of the two. Luis.
So may ownership.
So
sila.
blending of
nila.
names
Martina.
talaga.
Blending
no?
of names, parang naging anak na ng dalawa.
That's very good.
Although
Yeah.
it was more a presentation of a nice opportunity. So
Yes.
parang repositioning it. But whether we were getting their feedback, I don't remember if it was that intentional, but there was a time when one of them said, Papa, tama na. We're adjusting to the house. Madami na. So can you stop at 2 kids?
So, nasabi nila yon. Sa'yo, meron ba? When you go on dates
Aside
with
from
them?
the name, alam mo, nung lumaki na sila, like Rocio would tell me, I remember when you did this before, like, instead of, kasi parang she had a trip that's related to school ba, or World Youth Day, and she wanted to go. And then nagsabi siya sa amin, and then alam niya naman na ang sistema ko na approve naman ni Miguel was to get her really involved. Like instead of, so we said, okay, we'll provide 50%. Sabi ko, of
The
the
fees.
cost, and then the other 50%, you gotta
Ipon.
raise it. And she did it, no? And then later on, I think mga 2 years ago, she said, I remember when you did this. At first, I was I didn't understand why. Why you can't,
Cover 100%.
Yeah, 100%. But now, I get it. It helped me exercise also yung my
Financial.
to manage and also to learn how to reach out to others so that I will have money. So that's important pala for her. So, yes, slowly the feedbacks are coming out and also feedback sa mga kapatid nila. Kasi maraming away. Yan. Imagine mo teenagers and then maiingay ng mga bata, makalat. Oh my gosh, ang daming sigawan na nangyayari, iiyak yung dalawa, magsusumbong yung dalawa sa amin, and then yung malalaki would like lock themselves up in their rooms kasi nabibisit sila dun sa dalawa. Ay, naku, madaming ring iyakan, madaming usapan. Madami.
Okay. So hopefully natuturo natin yung advice, yung communication style also in between siblings. It's also very important. But we're running all out of time also. But I wanna ask, was there a moment, like a momentous event or a time or a quiet reflection for you na you felt, we've arrived? Na the struggle to blend, the struggle to combine has already reached.
Over the hump.
Oh, we're over the hump. Your stress level of 450 is no longer there. It's mga 175 na lang, diba? And then you feel you've arrived at a certain fluidity or cohesiveness in your family.
Parang the blending continues eh. So, not as worried, but still parang measuring. Kasi our smaller kids are no longer small kids.
Sila naman yung
Nagti-teenager na sila. Tapos nun, like our son, Lucho, is joining the more adult conversation when they talk about Marvel. And they can make Marvel so complicated with all of these things.
It is complicated. May multiverse kasi.
I just want to watch the movie peacefully. But sila ang dami-dami. So si Luch sumasama doon. So parang on one part, you're, that's nice. Naiwan naman si Martina. So parang nagbe-blend pero hindi lahat nagbe-blend. Pero occasionally, nag-share ng mga ganun-ganun at nag-ayos ng buhok si Roseo kay Martina. So there's blending and yet there are differences but that you have to continue to
May
adjust.
gaps pa rin.
Pero feeling ko generational gap na yun. Hindi na siya two families becoming one. It's more of millennial na sila. Millennial, Gen Z, Gen Alpha yata or something. No? But for you?
Ako, oo, meron. Nung 10th year namin, anniversary, pandemic pa nun. Parang I really felt that made us closer to one another, especially me. Okay, to be honest, me and Rocio and me and Luis, no? So when we turned 10, pwede ba tayong magpa-bless sa pare? And then as in sa simbahan, and then the kids will walk because this time it will not be just us saying I do to each other. The kids.
Iyak ka naman ako.
Iyak ka na naman. All the 4 kids saying yes to this family.
Ang
that
ganda
we
naman yan,
have become.
ceremony. Yeah.
So nagpapunta kami kay Laruega, doon kami nag-10th year anniversary with the intimate families lang. Yun, to me that was a sacred moment. For us na, ito to, pamilya kami. Blend 40,
and intentionally
50
parang di ba, announcing and letting the children know that this is where we are, this is where we're going to go. We will say, I do, continuing yung I do.
How does this sound to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those ceremonies and mga, what you call that?
Rituals.
Rituals, yes. Helps to cement, di ba, the
And
relationship.
while
it's
you're speaking,
articulated.
last advice. Any other advice you'd like to leave for those entering this blended family? Because we're running out of time.
You prepare. If not, you have to be as mature and really talk a lot because they're really going to be challenges, but can be a source of fun as well.
So marriage preparation, again, whatever dynamics
Plus parenting
pinapasok.
preparation.
And parenting. So we still have our school for parents every weekend, but we'll have a next batch next year. Discovery weekend, next batch in November.
And December.
Also pre-K na in Safam, any kind of preparation. Love Institute, we also prepare privately if you want more in-depth. But we also like to pause a moment to send out our thoughts and prayers to all those who have been affected by the recent earthquakes in Cebu, in Davao, in Baguio, and I guess all of us who have been spared, no? We continue to send our help, our whatever we can do. You know, maybe your donations, you can volunteer, or at the very least, say a fervent prayer for those who lost their lives, who lost a loved one, who are rebuilding their lives now after being literally, physically shaken. And with that, I leave you with a Bible verse from Psalms 46:10, which states, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in all the earth." So like our couple, Chacha and Miguel, who have been also shaken, who have had to go through a lot of adjustments with their blended family, with their chosen family, but they remember that they chose this intentionally and that it is God's blessing. And so with God's grace also, they're able to power through. Oh, they're over the hump. So tayo rin, ano man pinagdadaanan natin lahat sa mundong ito, kapit lang po tayo kay Lord at dadalhin niya tayo in a much better and peaceful place. So we hope that despite the events in the past, we gave you some joy, some wisdom, some insight this morning, Monday morning, and that give you strength to sustain you for the next whatever, for a few more days, weeks, whatever. And we hope to see you again. Thank you for all those who joined. Hello to Coach Jing watching us. And we hope to see you all again next Monday. And through SPARC and other shows of Radyo Katipunan, we can spark a little bit of joy and light in each other's lives. Thank you for joining us. See you again next week. Bye-bye.
What keeps a family shining? It's that spark, the bond between spouses, the wisdom of parents, and the dreams of children. And guess what? We're turning that spark into a show. Introducing SPARC, Spouses, Parents, and Children. Only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. A program filled with real talk, life hacks, inspiring stories, and yes, even the fun and laughter that keep families strong. So tune in, light up your day, and let's celebrate what makes every family shine. SPARC, Spouses, Parents, and Children. Only on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Your campus, your community, your spark.